What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Every day here we talk about lead gen, media arbitrage, performance marketing. My name is Eric and welcome. Let's do it, baby. Every day we talk about all kinds of stuff. I'm a performance marketer all around measuring results. We don't do anything without knowing if there's any reaction to what we do. Like, we don't get paid unless we drive a result. We measure everything, CPA, CPLs, and that's the way we like it. It's the right way to roll. It gives you the biggest upside. The thing is here, what I want to talk about today is something I was talking about with somebody earlier who didn't know how companies were valued and what the valuable asset is in your company. And I was kind of surprised about it. And I thought to myself, wait a second, maybe more people don't know. And if they don't, maybe we should talk about it. So today we're going to talk about how to value your company, what your company's worth, and how to figure out if a market is right for you based off of values of companies in the marketplace and what's available to you that you can look for to determine that. So stick around, we're going to get into it right now. Here's the deal. We all know that the most valuable thing is your customer list. We all talk about it. You ever hear the money's in the follow-up, people will say, right? So when you generate leads or sales, following up afterwards with these people is the most important thing so that you can monetize them, make money, and scale your business. A lot of people make that mistake where they do not do that, or even do it enough. The timing of when you reach out to your leads is so important. I will tell you, it's proven, take it from me, from experience, that the longer you wait to communicate with the person that signed up, the less chance you have in converting a sale, right? You might be nurturing the person, and in that case, if you wanna do some sort of nurture where they buy a book and they have to read your book, or they're subscribing to your YouTube channel or a podcast, so over time, maybe you'll be able to get them. But if you're looking to make moves and monetize the first visit, yeah, then you gotta follow up. You gotta communicate with them immediately, right? When we used to do things in the past, there were different programs we'd run. We would trigger an autoresponder. An autoresponder means like the lead comes in, and in real time, it's already set up to send an email, 1-to-1 ratio. And the difference between doing it in real time and doing it within 2 minutes was a massive difference. Like, serious numbers from, if you did it in real time, you might have made $750 grand for the month. If you did it after 2 minutes, you might make $375,000 for the month. 2 minutes. Huge difference. And what's happening is, like, people are online, right? They're signing up for things, and you want to catch them right when they're there. So if you're in a business that's looking to communicate and sell somebody, you want to get to those leads and work those leads as fast as possible. And your numbers will go up if you do that. If you're somebody that's waiting till talk to them the next day, they may not even remember that they signed up for your offer. So we know that that whole thing with the list is valuable, right? That's the asset. When people are looking to purchase your company, right? If you're selling your company, what are they buying, right? If you buy something, you're hoping that it's going to be worth more later. If someone sells their company, they don't sell their company to somebody who's like, all right, I'll give you whatever this is worth, unless the person that's buying it thinks that they can either take that company and scale it to make it more valuable, or maybe it's something else from like a distressed company or things of that nature, but selling off the assets, blah, blah, whatever, or it's a tuck-in. So like, other than if anything's bad, a tuck-in would be, there's a company that's already existing. They go and purchase another company, and that company now fills a void within the parent company, right? To make it a bigger company, the revenue comes over to this side, so it scales that business. So there's really ultimately two ways they'll do that, and the reasons why is because they think it's valuable. The thing is that how do you know how much it's worth? I don't know. So if anybody's familiar, like with comps, what they'll do is they'll try to look in the marketplace to see what other similar companies sold and at what comp did they sell at? What multiple? Meaning, like, if you had a company in, let's say, the digital space that generates leads and you sold, let's say, for $100 million, you would look at what were they doing from a revenue perspective, and the question is, were they doing it on the net margin or the top line? If anybody doesn't know what that means, top line is the gross revenue, and then there's the net margin revenue, which is your profit. You know, if there's a company here that's doing 50 million top line, and their profit, if they sell for $100 million, at least I would I would do it off the net if I'm buying a company, right? So if you look at it off the net, because I don't really care what that number looks like. Some companies care, like if like you're going to go public, you have to be a certain number, or if you want to do certain things. There are times where companies want to pad their top line revenue to show the size of that company, to make it worth someone's while. So that happens. But in my scenario, if I were to do that, I'd be looking at this. This number is the most important number to me. And if you look in the marketplace, if this company did that at 20 million, the multiple, you would just take 20 million and divide it by 100 million equals 5x. So what they would say is it's selling at 5 times. So that doesn't mean necessarily your company is going to do that. But if you find a company that's similar to yours, and now you're starting to get an idea of what people are willing to pay for the business. Right? So you can look at things like this to figure this out. Now, what that means is these people think in this scenario that they're going to be able to take this business and scale it, right? Ultimately, right here, they're just getting paid 5 years in advance. Someone's selling their company and saying, give me what I made here this month, 5 years. For 5 years is the way I think about it, right? So 5 times. So they're going to get 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Boom, that's 100. It's gone. Well, the company that takes it over, in hypothetical terms, let's say that they scale the business, and let's just go in the next 5 years, right? In year 1, they do 30 million. In year 2, they do 45 million. In year 3, they do 50 million. Okay, so right here, 30, 75, 125. In 3 years, they're going to be profitable, is the way they look at it, right? Because they're thinking that they're going to scale the business. That's the bet they're taking, right? If the guy over here that sells this for 100 now all of a sudden is able to do this, maybe it was a bad deal, because now this company's worth $50 million. No, sorry, it's not worth $50 million. It's doing $50 million in net margin, right? If we looked at it and just kept the same multiple, this value is $250 million. So the person that bought this, they paid $100 million for it when they were doing $20 million. They did a good job. They built up the business to get to $125 million in 3 years. So now they're $25 million in the positive. And if they wanted to sell this company tomorrow at 5x multiple, they're getting another $250 million. So this business paid back for what they paid for it. And now anything they sell it for at that point is a profit. It's amazing, right? I mean, listen, this could have been a guy that just wanted to get out of the business. He may have been in the business for 10 years and just wanted to take his money and go to the next level, do something else with his life. This is important for people to understand on what the value of the companies are, because there's other ways for you to figure this out, right? One of the ways is if you're deciding to go into a market with a new business, right? Let's pretend like you are going into a market with a new business. You never want to go and do something unless you know that there is a market, people buying, like buyers and sellers. There's a market, right? It's an exchange. So, one of the cool things that you could do is you can go and look on the stock market, right? The stock market is a place where people buy and sell. And the beauty is there's these public companies, and they have to report all of their earnings to the public, to the shareholders. So you can go at any time and open up a 10Q, right? And what they do is they report quarterly. So there's 4 times out of the year that they're going to report how they're doing, what their business is doing, what the numbers look like. They can't lie, right? It's a public company. It's owned by the public. And, there's benefits for being public, right? The people that do it, they do very well. But there's things that come with it. You have to answer to the public. In this scenario, right, like you could look to see what other companies are valued at and what the multiples are by doing a very simple thing. And I'm going to show you, so that if you're ever looking to be in a market and you want to try to get an idea of what that looks like, right? Here's what you do. Stock market. Let's say in the stock market, you have a stock that's trading. Let's call it XZA. Let's say XZA is a public company and they're somebody that's in a market that you want to be involved in. So let's say they're selling certain pet supplies that you want to get involved in. You want to maybe, obviously you're going to create a target niche so that you can compete against these big players. So you're trying to figure out if there's a market for a certain category. You can do it with public companies by finding the pet supply company. And ultimately what you're looking at is what is the price per earnings. You want to see what the valuation is of that company. And you can figure that out with it's called the market cap, by looking at their PE, which is price per earnings ratio. And it ultimately will tell you, it'll have a number, right? Like let's say it'll be 5. Remember we talked about a multiple? What this is saying is if this company is making X and the stock is trading at Y, then the ratio is 5. The market cap is the value of what the stock is trading at, right? What the value of the stock is, and you can compare that to what they're actually making. You guys remember like the bubble, right? If there was the internet bubble back in like the 1995 to 2000, they called it the bubble, right? The popped. And the reason why it was a bubble was because there were all these people that were buying all these companies that did not make a dollar. But the thing is the way this works, and why I was trying to explain to you earlier, when people buy companies earlier, they buy because they think that they can make more money with it later. That's the same thing with the stock market, right? A stock is trading at X, Y, Z, right? If a stock's trading at $2, well, that's great and dandy. But the only reason you would buy this stock at $2 is because you think it's going to go to $2.50 or $3 or $4. So to figure out if that's going to be possible, right, you can look at what's the market cap, what's it trading at, what's it trading at versus the other companies in the same pet supply. If they were at a 5x, and then you find another company, let's say, company 2, company public number 2, and let's say that their PE ratio equals 50x. If all the companies are trading at 5x and this one's trading at 50x, you're going to want to look and see why. So when you're thinking about if you're going to sell your company, you're thinking about how the market looks, what are the comps against companies that are similar to yours, what's the multiple, right? If it's not a public company, if it's private, you may not know those numbers, right? You can talk, you can network and ask around. You try to figure out like what that number looks like, so that then you can now play and try to make some case to whoever's going to buy it that your company's worth XYZ. If this company over here is trading at 50x, well, either something's going on here. Either this company is trading below the comps, or this company is way too inflated. If you're selling your company, right, which I hope you do one day if you want to, if that's what your goals are, then you should be well versed in this and really understand the marketplace. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. That's it. Hopefully you sell your company one day. When you do, let's go grab a bite to eat. With that said, guys, I'm going to hang out with my family. Have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. Be well. Good luck. I'm rooting for you.